Aloha, friends! I just celebrated my birthday on February 24th. I turned 27 years old, and so I thought it would be fun to do a little 27 lessons learned in 27 years video. And so I have definitely learned a lot in these 27 years, and I actually recall this past year especially the most sobering year. I was completely sober. I wasn't partying or anything, and also just I saw so much of the light of myself and of the world, but also the darkness and the shadows, and really looked at some of the less desirable, less pleasurable aspects of myself and others in the world around me. So it's just very eye-opening this year, but I'm super grateful because it's really just deepened my appreciation for this life and for the polarity of the light and the darkness that we have available to us through the human experience on planet Earth. So with that said, my first lesson that I've learned in my 27 years is that self-love comes first to love others well. And so what I mean by that is you have to be compassionate, accepting, and forgiving towards yourself before you can ever cultivate those types of feelings towards another person. And my last video was all about that, about loving yourself first. And it's just a huge lesson I continue to learn, but see the benefits of putting myself first instead of trying to give and give to everyone else, but filling my own cup first and then letting it overflow. My second lesson that I've learned is that people-pleasing takes up way too much mental energy. It's way simpler and easy to just be myself, to just be yourself, and not get all caught up in the what is this person going to think when I do this, or how will they react, or how will they respond, will I be accepted? To just let all that go, because I really have started to realize how much energy that takes up when that could be focused on just what I want, what I'm feeling in my heart is right for me, rather than anyone else. I can't control anyone's thoughts or opinions or feelings about me anyway. Lesson number 3 is health is wealth. So your health is what determines the quality of your life. It's not determined by how much money that you have in the bank, even though that's how our society kind of operates. And your health is interconnected. So yes, it's related to your financial health, but there's also your physical, your mental, your spiritual, your emotional. Looking at all those areas is what really constitutes a healthy life, a healthy experience. So even if you are super wealthy, if you are not feeling spiritually connected, or if you're not processing your emotions, or you're not feeling fulfilled in your relationships with others, or your physical body has really suffered from you working really hard over the years or whatever, you're not living a really rich, abundant life that you could be. So health is wealth. It's actually the name that I called my coaching program, Health is Wealth, because it is just so important, I'm realizing. Lesson number 4 that I've learned in my 27 years is that my heart and my body are much wiser than my mind. And I would say it's taken the past couple years for me to really see that. In school I was all about using my mind and achieving, doing well, all that really trained in the mind here in this Western society, and that was the way to success. But what I'm really learning is that my heart, I believe that my soul, my heart is like the gateway to my soul. My soul has been here before. My soul has lived multiple lives, has had multiple experiences, is connected to Great Spirit. Based on whatever you believe, it may be different, but for me, that's what I believe. And then my body too. My body is literally my DNA that's been passed down through the ancestry since the beginning of the human race, really. So there's all this wisdom that resides within our bodies. And then also within our souls. So realizing the mind's such a great tool, but it's not the only place to go for answers. It's actually just a fraction of the experience, and it's really looking at my mind, but also my heart and soul, and also my body. Like, what are the messages that are coming through? Looking at all of them, and then making my decisions based on taking a moment to reflect and tune into each of those areas. Number 5 is balance of movement and rest is crucial. So this has definitely been a big lesson for me. I really thought, based on what I've seen in the world around me, that, it's go, go, go all the time. Have your schedule filled with doing things, working, being with friends, all these things, not resting as much, not prioritizing. What I've been really learning as I've kind of taken a break away from society a bit and just gone and lived on the farm and experienced a different way of life out here is it's crucial to, just as much as you're moving and doing and action, all that, you also replenish yourself with the rest of truly doing nothing. So even if you're laying or napping, you're not on your phone, you're not reading, you're not still taking in information. I've had to learn, even like taking a bath, I don't need to be reading. I can just totally relax, turn my mind off. So that's been a huge one for me, especially overcoming adrenal fatigue and seeing how me not balancing that movement and rest time contributed to that feeling burned out, that feeling fatigued and exhausted from going. And lesson number 6 that I've learned in my 27 years is that the power of the breath is what brings me inner peace in the present moment. So with that, let's just take a moment, inhale through the nose, all the way down into the belly, and exhale through the mouth. The more that I just breathe in this moment, the more peace I can truly enjoy within myself. There's not that anxiety of worry and concern of what's going to happen, because everything's unfolding in this moment as it should. And the breath is like that conscious way to tune into the body, tune into your senses. So the breath has been so huge, so powerful, so healing, so grounding for me. Lesson number 7. Daily meditation helps me build focus and gain mastery over my mind. So that comes about through really awareness. So even if I just set a timer for, say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, I really just allow myself to breathe and allow whatever thoughts are coming through to come through. And then after a period of time, there's less and less of those, and that's in that session, and that's also over months, over years of time. I've realized how much of a difference that can make to just sit with yourself, reconnect with yourself. So daily meditation, that's a huge lesson I've learned, that really quiets that mind, that gives me a sense of peace, and if I stick with it and I do it every day, I'm just a calmer person. My mind is not going so wild, and then if I kind of get off, start to notice my mind becomes more powerful and it becomes more anxious, becomes a lot more worried. My breathing is a lot shorter. I can't really stay in the present moment and just honor what's coming, what's unfolding. It's very worried, fearful kind of energy. So the daily meditation has really helped me to just build an awareness of what's happening in my body, what's happening in my mind in any moment. And this has been so huge for me. Brings me to lesson number 8. Most behaviors and beliefs we have aren't actually ours. They were either learned or passed down to us. This has been a big one, so learned or passed down beliefs or behaviors that's coming from our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors way before them, our teachers in school, if you went to church, your church, society at large, TV shows, any of that, movies even. it's not always been clear, oh yeah, you have this choice of how you want to see the world, what you believe. It's been more like, okay, you're programmed to believe this based on your family, based on society, based on what you're presented with. So I've really experienced this process of stepping away from that, of looking and seeing I actually have free choice over what I believe. And I've really been examining what I thought was true for all of my life, and especially this past couple of years, and getting to say when something comes up, a situation comes up, where I would have seen it this other way for so long. Now I get the opportunity to really just be in that present moment and say, is that still true for me? Or do I have a different way that I choose to see this based on what's being presented? That's been huge, to just feel my own sovereignty. And that goes to lesson number 9. My parents, my family, and my ancestors, they're all just humans too. They were just doing the best that they could with what they knew. So there's been a lot of compassion from realizing that, from seeing no one was doing anything to hurt me or to wrong me or anything. Everyone just did what was taught to them and did their best with that to be a good parent, grandparent, family member, friend, whatever. So yeah, definitely in the past couple of years as I've gotten older, I've gotten to see that and be able to just hold space more for people, all people, wherever they are, no matter who it is. Lesson number 10, letting go of what no longer serves you is worth the discomfort. So I've had to do a lot of letting go in the past few years. So it's been letting go of what I would consider my home, letting go of relationships, letting go of friends, letting go of career paths and what I thought my life would have looked like or was supposed to look like by this point. Letting go of my idea of what success looks like and what joy and happiness and fulfillment really means to me. And what I've learned is that that's a painful process, because it's basically stripping off this layer of your own identity, this layer of your ego, and it's very painful. It can be. But what I've also gotten from it is that it opens up this space for magic to occur, for the universe to step in, and it's like when you start to feel something's not fully aligned and you cling to it, then it gets harder. There's more resistance to it. It's more of a struggle. But if you do let it go and honor that it's no longer an energetic match for you, then it opens a space for something that is more aligned to come through, that's going to bring so much more fulfillment and joy. So yeah, letting go is worth the discomfort. Lesson number 11 that I've learned in my 27 years is that it's okay to not feel good all the time. This just means that you're human. I really thought for a long time, oh, I'm supposed to feel good all the time. If I'm not feeling good, then I need to somehow numb this out, or I need to go like drink or party or whatever that may be to feel better, because I'm supposed to feel good all the time, right? But now what I've learned with my 27 years of wisdom is that's not all of our human experience. Our human experience is this whole spectrum of emotions, from joy all the way down to like fear and despair. And we can feel all of those, and that's actually what makes the contrast so beautiful. It's what makes me be able to appreciate these beautiful orchid flowers blooming so deeply. It's like my tears, it's what makes me really just feel grateful to experience the beauty and the pain, just all of it together. I'm really seeing clearly the polarity of this experience and how that's actually how it was supposed to be. And when I'm not distracting myself, numbing those emotions, then I can fully embrace this human experience. And that kind of ties in with my lesson number 12 that I've learned, which is ignoring, numbing, or suppressing uncomfortable emotions does not make them go away. Yeah, so I feel like I'm in this process now of uncovering all those emotions that I tried to suppress and push away because I didn't want to feel the uncomfortable, the pain, the negative, all of that. I wanted to just stay in the light, the love, everything. It didn't make them go anywhere. It just made them like lodge into my energetic system. And if you follow Louise Hay, I have a book here by her. It was my first book on mind, body, spirit connection called Heal Your Body. Highly recommend. If you know about her work, then you know that she believes that things that are happening, like emotional, mental issues that are not addressed and not worked through, not processed, can manifest into physical symptoms, physical dis-ease. So they're definitely not going anywhere. And the more that I can process my emotions and not need to get out of that space by drinking or smoking or eating a lot of sugar and things or watching a lot of TV, the more that I actually just sit with it and I realize this is the whole part of being a human. This is the whole thing, is experiencing this. And my lesson number 13 is that shadows, pain, and mistakes have important lessons to teach. There's always a lesson to be found within the struggle. And so exploring this rather than only focus on love and light makes life more rich and fulfilling. So this was a lesson that I learned for myself, definitely within this past year or two, that even if it's the most painful circumstance, there's something to come out of it. Maybe it's taking you away from a path that you weren't meant to go down anyway. Maybe it's teaching you something that's going to make you stronger to then evolve into this greater version of yourself that you truly wanted to be anyway. And so it's really not getting too stuck in any one moment of my human experience, but being able to look from a higher perspective of it, a broader perspective, and saying, okay, like now I can see how this led to this and this led to this, how this not working out was for my best. And I know that's tough in the moment, but it's just that reminder that if you're going through something tough in this moment, it's most likely to teach you something valuable, give you some sort of gift in the long run. And lesson number 14 that I've learned in my 27 years is to have discernment. And so to me, this means really thinking for myself and not automatically believing what I'm told. I've been somebody, when I was younger, that I would call more naive, more gullible, more trusting of other people, of the system, of society, all of that, more so than myself. And it can get you into trouble. I've learned that. So being able to be discerning, and that brings me to my lesson number 15 and 16. 15, energy doesn't lie. So that's a really good way for me that I've learned to be more discerning, is the more in tune I am with myself, so daily meditation, breathing, really connecting to myself, then the more that I can be in tune with other people and feel their energy, because someone may say something to you, someone may look a certain way and seem really trustable, but their energy feels off. That's your sign right there. That's your answer to not necessarily believe or trust what that person is telling you in that moment. And that goes into my lesson number 16, to trust your gut, trust your intuition over anyone or anything else. So once you start tapping into your own intuition and your own body and knowing what's a yes for you, what's a no for you, what are the body signals, like do you get chills when you feel, like I'm someone who gets chills when you feel like the truth, when you feel spirit and feel really resonant with something, or maybe a little bit of tears or something, versus if something does not feel right, you know, what does your body feel like then? Is there like kind of a pit in your stomach or something like that? So really getting to know my own intuition, my own body, and trusting in that has helped me to be more discerning of if I can trust what someone else has to say or not, and tune into their energy. Yeah, and that's just like a super empowering thing that I do not think that we were always connected to. So I'm super grateful for all the people teaching about energy work and connecting to ourselves. Okay, lesson number 17. I love being a woman. This was something that was not always the case. If you are like me growing up in a Western society, or actually any society at this time, besides maybe the indigenous people, women, you've been kind of shamed to be a woman, or there's been some portrayal of a certain body image of how you should look, how you should dress, how you should act. And that has been a super confusing thing growing up and being like, okay, like what if I don't fit that mold, or what if that doesn't feel right to me, or whatever. So I've really, as I've learned from other women who have come before me and worked with mentors and learned about my cyclical nature, learned about my womb wisdom, my cycle, how throughout the course of a month I change into 4 different cycles, and that means my energy is going to be different, how I show up is different, how I feel inside, what I'm going to need during that time is different. It's been so empowering. I'm like, wait, why weren't we just taught this from the beginning? Because we're super powerful beings, but not being connected with our own wisdom, our own feminine wisdom, we just kind of walk through this life confused. And I think it's no wonder so many women, older women, find themselves depressed and taking antidepressants, things like that. So really embracing being a woman, really loving being a woman is the lesson I've been learning. Lesson number 18, nature heals. Nature is grounding, it's nourishing, it's supportive. I wouldn't have believed if you would have told me years ago that I would have spent altogether 10 months living on a farm in a tent and then a yurt and just out in the elements. But from doing that, I really just reconnected with nature, reconnected with the elements, with the fire, the sun energy, that power, with the water. You know, I swim in the ocean very often, and even just drinking the water, just being so grateful for it, for the nourishment that it provides. The air, the fresh air, the quality of air, actually even just thinking about the quality of the air in somewhere that's more remote versus in a city where there's a lot of pollution and a lot of cars and factories, things like that, it makes a difference. And the earth itself, just feeling the soil, the sand, the grass beneath your feet, and how it actually has like ions that help balance out your system just by putting your bare feet on the earth. It's a very supportive system that's here. It's a living organism that we are a part of. So I've had a lot of healing that I've experienced through nature. And that brings me to lesson number 19 that I've learned, which is plant medicine is greater than pharmaceutical medicine for most things. And this is my own personal opinion, but it's just what I've seen in my own experience and from observing other people. You know, I come from a background in conventional medicine and pharmacy, so that's why it's pretty funny that I am saying this, but it's totally what I've learned, so I'm going with it. Plant medicine in my own life, wow, not only has it given me positive benefits of like helping with sleep or helping with anxiety or expanding my consciousness, purging out toxins and toxicities, but it's also done that in a nourishing way where there's not these interactions or side effects and things that could be harmful to my system. It's a much more gentle, subtle substance than a pharmaceutical that's been made in a lab, chemically produced, more synthetic substance you're putting into your body. It's natural, so it's working with your body. Yeah, so plant medicine, unless it comes down to, say, an acute thing that happens, someone breaks their leg or something really in the moment kind of thing, of course, please take me to the emergency room to have what I need there. But for the more chronic things, for the more mild to moderate things, symptoms going on, definitely plant medicine I would recommend over going the pharmaceutical route. Okay. And with that, that's what's so wonderful about integrated nutrition, integrated medicine, is you don't have to have one or the other. It doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. You can look at the case and decide from there what is best for the person or for yourself. All right. Lesson number 20 that I've learned in my 27 years is that whole plant-based foods increase your vibration and expand consciousness. So not only are whole foods, plant-based foods, something that give you good energy, make you feel lighter, help you lose weight, reduce inflammation, they reduce anxiety, they also have this effect of literally making you more aware, giving you this more subtle, more sensitive experience of your environment. I had no idea this was going to be something when I went plant-based back in 2017 that would happen, but literally it opened my eyes so much. It was right in line with me having a whole spiritual awakening that I experienced. So if you want to expand your consciousness, if you want to raise your vibration, definitely eat more plants. They're lighter, they're going to lift you up, versus the more dense, heavier foods are going to ground you down more. And with that too, it doesn't have to be one or the other, but definitely more plants in your diet have a very positive effect. Lesson number 21. The attitude that I bring to my life is everything. And so they say attitude is everything. Well, it's definitely true. I've realized it's not just a matter of what I'm doing, but it's how I'm doing it. What's the energy I'm bringing to it? What am I showing up with? Is it like gratitude, or is it this complaining energy? Is it this feeling down, feeling bad for myself kind of energy? So gratitude has been like such a beautiful practice for me, to wake up in the morning or before I go to bed or just throughout my day, just naming a few things that I'm grateful for. And once you get started, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for these flowers. I am grateful for my computer, being able to communicate with the rest of the world. I'm grateful for seeing beautiful nature out my window. Just so many things that can snowball once you just get in that habit of practicing gratitude, and it's just automatically brings you from this feeling of, oh, there's not enough, this scarcity mindset, to this abundance mindset. Like, there's actually plenty. I have so much. I'm feeling in that energy of positivity, of abundance. So your attitude, definitely checking your attitude. For me, that's been huge. I think our minds automatically like to go towards more negative thoughts most of the time, but kind of retraining it, reining it in when that starts to happen can be really beneficial. Okay, and lesson number 22 that I've learned is my worth is not measured by external opinions or material success. My sense of self-worth is an inner experience. So it's a feeling of enoughness within. And I think this has really been helped for me by my spiritual practice and seeing that I'm not something that's separate from God. I'm not something that's separate from the divine source. I am just a fractal. So that same energy is flowing through me, and connecting with that daily reminds me of that and makes me see, wow, I'm just the universe itself, just experiencing itself, and God experiencing itself has been huge, rather than when I was younger. It was really influenced by other people's opinions of me and how I looked to them, what material success I had accumulated, what I was going to school for, what I owned, how much money I had, all of that. Now it's becoming a lot more of an inner thing, just radiating out, like knowing that inner knowing that I am enough as I am. And you are too. Alright, lesson number 23. I must value my time and energy before anyone else will. And I think this ties right in with the self-worth. When I value my time and my energy, and I say, I set this up for myself, or I set this schedule and really sticking to that, and just communicating that with other people, that's how you set your boundaries. It's how you create your healthy boundaries of honoring yourself as much as you're honoring the other person. I've been someone, one of my big lessons at the beginning was people pleasing, learning that that's a no, that has to stop, and it just takes up too much energy. Well, not people pleasing, the opposite of that is creating your boundaries, having your healthy boundaries, having those set, and be able to communicate them clearly with other people so that they know, okay, this person really values their time, their energy. I am going to value their time and energy too. I don't really have the choice. Okay. Yeah, so like honoring your commitments to yourself. That's been the huge thing for me of doing that, of setting those boundaries, is realizing like I'm just as important as anyone I work for, or my partner, or my family. My well-being, my needs, my things I want to get done are just as important, and actually a little more for me personally, because I'm the one in my own experience. Everyone else is super concerned with themselves and the things they need to get done, so I need to have that energy towards myself as well. No one else is going to have it for me. Alright, so lesson number 24 that I've learned in my 27 years is that I am my biggest asset. So investing in myself is my best return on investment. The more that I invest in my health, the more I invest in my mind and my well-being, the more return that I get. So that's been pretty powerful for me, and really tuning in with what that really means, not just picking something because everyone else is doing it like I did other times in my life, but just having that realization that's taken away some of the like, oh, should I spend to take this course or go through this program? If it's something that's calling my soul and I can see the benefit of how it would improve my day-to-day life, then yes. So seeing that investing is important, and not always, just holding on and not feeling like I can let my money flow. Okay, lesson number 25, managing my money makes me feel confident, secure, and empowered. This has been such a great lesson for me. I have a spreadsheet, a budget, and really like seeing where my money's going. How am I earning my money? How am I spending my money? How am I saving my money? Am I actually living within my means or beyond my means or under my means? And getting clear on that, and just seeing what are my thoughts about my money, what do I believe about money, and doing a lot of money mindset work. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. So yeah, not being afraid to look at your finances or think like I can't do this, I'm not good with money or whatever. That is just a limiting belief that is going to keep you disconnected from this big part of the current reality that we live in, that money is definitely a part of. So connecting with your money and managing your money properly can really make you feel more secure and empowered. That's what I've learned. All right, lesson number 26. The more organized I am, the less stressed I am. You know, if you would have known me growing up or even a few years ago, I kept a really messy space, and I think my mind was really messy as well. There was a lot going around, a lot going on in there, and you know, I remember I wouldn't even let my partner into my bedroom for the longest time because it was so messy and he had such a clean space. It's so funny now because I love having a clean space. It makes me feel more calm, less anxious, more calm, and I'm someone who can get stressed pretty easily, so even just these little things like that, like keeping my space organized, and that's my physical space, but it's also like my digital space, keeping my files organized and all of that. I actually really appreciate that now. You can see how it has an effect on my mental well-being, my mental space. Okay, and number 27 of my 27 lessons that I've learned in my 27 years is that being an entrepreneur is the way to go for personal freedom. And so this has been really in this past year when I've started to branch out into becoming an entrepreneur that I've been learning this lesson. I'm realizing, wow, there's no cap on my earning potential. There's also no one who is setting my schedule but me. I get to spend what time that I want to. I get to switch things around if I need to. It allows me location freedom. I can travel where I want to travel. It's the way to go. Being an entrepreneur for sure is the best way to ensure your own personal freedom. That being said, it definitely means more personal responsibility to responding to your abilities, to your own capability. But it's been totally worth it for me to learn how to be more of a responsible human being, to be able to have the freedom that I'm getting to experience and will continue to experience in being an entrepreneur. So shout out to entrepreneurship. And then I did add a bonus that did come through. My bonus lesson that I've learned in my 27 years is that love is always greater than fear. Always when I am wondering, okay, I'm in this situation, I could definitely go towards fear. That would have been more what I did when I was younger, growing up. Or I could turn and choose love and see the situation with love. And that always feels better. That always is the higher vibration route to go. Love is greater than fear. Love connects, fear separates. Love builds, fear destroys. So love is greater than fear. That is my bonus, and I want to thank you all so much for listening, if you've gotten this far, to my 27 lessons I've learned in my 27 years. Take care. Much love.